Welcome to Sheng, the art of self-nourishment. So this is an ongoing series for the month of February or whenever you're watching it. And today we are going to talk about breath. We're going to talk about breathing. This is key to our vitality. It is the most potent and the most immediate self-healing tool that you have. So really our breath is the bridge between our conscious and our unconscious. So basically we can control our breath. I can hold my breath. I can do a long exhale, but if I don't pay attention to it, it's still going to happen. So it just is going to happen automatically. Yet most of us, or at some point in our day, we have, we'll stop breathing, or we have very shallow breaths. When we're stressed or when we're busy, or even if you observe yourself in the course of your day, you might find yourself when you're, on your computer or opening emails or responding to a text that you're actually not breathing. It's surprising how often we stop breathing and just hold back this life force. And the only way that we build our vitality is through the air that we breathe and the food that we eat. And we'll get into that later. But through the air that we breathe, and this is how we get nourishment. This is chi, or life force, flooding into our body. And so it is a powerful tool when we learn to use it and to make sure that we're breathing fully. So a lot of us have these very shallow breaths. We're breathing either in our chest or even in our throat. There's a quote that I heard, good breath is like breathing all the way down to our heels. But unlike most people, we just breathe into our throat. So it is like we sort of stop ourselves here. And really it's this deep breathing that breathes all the way through our diaphragm into our low belly. And that we say that emotional trauma is held in our diaphragm. And when we're only breathing up here, we're holding or locking in this trauma. We're not allowing it to move through us. In Chinese medicine, we have one of the patterns we see quite a bit is something called liver qi stagnation. And that is when one of the symptoms of this is when we're blocked in this diaphragm area, in our chest, in our ribs. And a symptom when people have this, often they'll be like sighing a lot. And that's the way that the body will release some of this stored tension. But if we're actually conscious about our breath and how we're breathing, we can release this throughout the day so it doesn't build up and we don't have a buildup of emotional or stress in our body, or even through our toxins in our body, because lymph is moved and energy is moved through our breath as well. So, deep breathing through this whole part of our chest and our rib cage, 360 degrees all the way around, will help us release this. Also, by doing a longer exhale, that will also help calm our nervous system down. Just taking 3 conscious breaths can help us shift our energy completely from being in a fight or flight. So often when we're in a stress response, we're breathing very shallowly up in our chest. And when we take a long, deep, slow breath, really trying to make that exhale longer than our inhale, we help our body drop into that parasympathetic nervous system being engaged. That's where we rest, that's where we digest, that's where we heal. So if we're always operating with this short, shallow breaths, we're engaging that sympathetic nervous system, which keeps us in this survival state, but not in a healing state, not in a recovery state, not in a spaciousness that we really want to have in order to thrive. So help our bodies regulate. It's a really great way to regulate emotions. If you find yourself getting emotionally triggered, or having a heated discussion with someone, or even just watching the news or movies. Oh my gosh, I catch myself watching really stressful movies and I'll be holding, because it is really intense, and I'll hold my breath and it's just a movie. So how often this happens in our everyday life. So I'm going to be posting a 1-minute meditation tomorrow that uses this idea of this slow conscious breath and these long, slow exhales, but just inviting you over the next day or so to pay attention to how you're breathing. Are you holding your breath? Are you just breathing into your chest? Or are you actually doing belly breaths or fully breathing through your ribs? And if you have been breathing in your chest for a long time, you might actually find it's hard to get a deeper breath. You might find it's uncomfortable. So just start where you are. Just try to first step, go deep, breathe as deeply as you can that feels comfortable, and just make your exhales a little longer. So if you're breathing in for 2 counts, breathe out for 3 counts or 4 counts or 5 counts. And that's going to be a really nice way to invite this deeply nourishing, healing breath back into your everyday. So that's your self-nourishment tip for today. And I'd love to know in the comments if you notice yourself holding your breath, or if you find a big difference when you are able to do these slow, long, conscious breaths. So thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time.